providing resources and comfort to caregivers. This is Caregiver Crossing.
Good morning. Welcome to Caregiver Crossing. Thank you so much for being here. And if this is your first time, we're extra excited. Caregiver Crossing is a show brought to you by Joy's House, presented in partnership with Cardon and Associates. And we are here from Joy's House and from the community every weekend to discuss all things caregiving. I am your host, Tina McIntosh, along with my co-host,
Terry Lynn Stacy from Hancock County, Indiana.
You're the cutest thing I've ever seen.
You are. I'm so glad to see your face.
Oh, I am too. It's nice to be here, although I have to be honest with you, I'm kind of in a blah mood.
Oh, now, wait a minute. You don't have post-solar eclipse syndrome, do you?
No, but that was awesome.
It was awesome, and there's a real thing with coming down from that, because we've all been so hyped up and ready for the solar eclipse that then it's like the day after Christmas, or it's the day after something big. It's you have this now what?
It's been almost a week at this point,
right?
But I will tell you, the day after the solar eclipse, or the night of the solar eclipse, I actually cried.
Oh, that's normal.
Why? That's so weird.
It's an emotional. Now, I know there are people that are laughing about this, but listen, we've been talking about this for 6 months. I've talked to many experts about this sort of thing, and so many of them, and so many that have seen the solar eclipse, and that's what makes you all of a sudden want to become a solar eclipse chaser, is because you've been bitten by the bug, and now you want to see another one and another one, like I do. But it is a real thing for people to feel. There is an emotional, spiritual effect on some people.
Well, for me, it would definitely, I think anybody who knows me knows I'm a Christian. And it was like, I just left and I was like, thank you, God, for this incredible life. And what a show. And I know there's more to it, but from my little egocentric place. But yeah, the night after, I literally just sat and I was weepy. And then I was just kind of blah all week. So
I think you might have the syndrome. And it's okay. You'll get over it.
I just thought I was overwhelmed.
You need another big something to look forward to.
I really don't. I really just need a lot of chill.
It was just magical. And like you, thank God that I was alive to see something like that, and this precious gift you've given us to see in this time when there's so much division and everything. And it's just at that moment, in every part along that pathway, the path of the solar eclipse for totality.
Okay.
It was one, and we were all looking up at the same time.
Here's what's interesting. Just you talking about it is bringing tears to my eyes.
Because it was so, it's in you.
I think I have a little, what'd you call it?
You have a little post-solar eclipse syndrome.
I didn't know.
You're okay. You're going to be okay.
That is so weird.
It just affected you like it did so many other people. You're not alone.
I think for me, it was the stillness. It was the eerie color, and it was just the quiet. I don't know.
And the cooler temperatures.
The wind.
The wind. You could see planets.
Oh, solar flare.
The solar flare.
It was so
cool. All the pictures that have been coming in all week. And in some instances, you see satellite. That was just right in front of it. And NASA was shooting rockets into it to get information. And somebody posted from Bloomington, Indiana, the most spectacular picture of a plane going just right in front of it. Obviously not that close, but the picture itself is this plane with a contrail behind it. And then this,
no way.
And right in the middle of it. And it was just, of course, these days that could have been photoshopped, I suppose.
Right.
Now that I'm thinking about it.
There was like a clown hanging off the back of the plane, waving a flag. Yeah, it was totally real. So what is the next big thing? Because I think, in a show where we're talking to family caregivers, and there are a lot of healthcare professionals, which, hey, hi, we see you. We're so glad that you join us every week on the show. We talk about things to look forward to and how that's important. So this is very interesting to me, this whole post-solar eclipse syndrome thing.
Real.
I didn't know. And I've just kind of been like, feeling a little less than all week. I told my coworkers in a meeting earlier the week, I said, I just feel like I'm letting everybody down just enough that you feel it, but you're not terribly disappointed in me right now. Like, that's kind of where I've been living this week.
Right.
But, we do talk about this, Terry, about having something to look forward to. And so what's the next thing? You're You're in the news. You know all the things.
Oh, the next big thing. It's, I guess we're counting down days to the Indy 500.
Oh, of course.
That's our next big thing here in Indianapolis. Well, you don't know. You got the depression. You got the post eclipse problem. It's okay. You're going to get over it. It's fine. That means you're just so connected to Mother Earth.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about that anymore. It's making me have a hot flash.
No, I want you to feel okay about it because others are doing it too, and it's okay.
I want to talk about the thing that stresses you out, the Indy 500.
The Indy 500. Hey, I do want to mention this. If you watch Sunday night television, there's a show called What Would You Do? And John Quinones is the host of the show. And the premise is they go into different places, into mostly small little towns, and they set up a situation and wonder what people will come to help or what people will have to say about certain situations that are publicly displayed.
Oh, yeah. What'd you say
it's called? What Would You Do?
Yes, I've seen it.
It's a great show. And this past weekend, on Sunday night, they did one with a woman that, two actors. The actor was the daughter and the mother, her real mother, and they were pretending like she had Alzheimer's. Mm. And they put them in this little cafe in this little tiny town. And, they watched as the couples and people that were sitting around were watching this interaction between the mother and her daughter, mother again with Alzheimer's. And the daughter looks around and she's, Mom, hang on a minute. I got to go to the bathroom. Mm. And so she looks to the table to the next and says, she's got Alzheimer's. Can you watch for a minute, watch over her just to see what would happen? And so she goes to the bathroom and then to watch how people reacted.
Were they weirded out?
People were amazing how they dealt with that. Just amazing how they jumped in to help, how they would keep, the mother had a purse and she was ready to walk out the door, and how they stopped her, but in this gentle way, the right things to say to move her back to the table to wait for the daughter. The other conversation was the conversation she were having with her mother about putting her into a home. Mm. And the others listening as to what was going to happen. It's a great show, and you can watch it streaming. Watch it. It's a good episode if you're dealing with this type of situation in your family and how people handle it.
I've seen those shows before, and I often wonder, would I step up and be the person doing the right thing?
That's it.
In that situation, I feel confident. But there are some others on there that are really touchy situations. And so...
Yeah, it's good. It's good, and I learned a few things.
All right, we're going to have to take a break, so stick around and we'll be back here on Caregiver Crossing. But before you go, you're stuck with us. You're listening to Caregiver Crossing, and we are a show that's designed for family caregivers and the people like you who love them. And so Caregiver Crossing is brought to you as a service of Joy's House. We don't talk enough about Joy's House. We are going to start to share so much with you, and in great partnership with Cardon and Associates. And so Joy's House has locations for adult day service in Broad Ripple and near the University of Indianapolis campus. And we, if I can say so myself, provide exceptional adult day for individuals living with life-altering diagnoses and compassionate support for family caregivers throughout the community. And so we believe that everyone deserves to live their best life, regardless of their abilities. And you can learn more about our adult day services or our caregiver support services by calling us at 317-254-0828 or by visiting joyshouse.org today. That web address again is joyshouse.org. And if you'll stick around, we'll be right back with Caregiver Crossing right after this. We're back on Caregiver Crossing. And just once again, if you're just joining us, I'm Tina McIntosh.
I'm Terry Stacy.
And we're so glad you're here. We have two esteemed doctors with us on Caregiver Crossing today, and they are from HealthPulse. We're going to learn a lot more about them, but we do want to introduce you to them. So we've got Dr. Miller on the line. Dr. Miller, hello to you.
Thank you. Very nice to be on the program.
Well, we're glad you're here. And then we have Dr. Steve Skulborstad, who we're just going to call Bob, we're told from now on.
Makes it much easier. Thanks so much for having us. Glad to be here.
We're so glad you're here. And before we get into the details about HealthPulse, can you just give us a little bit about each of you? It's really helpful for us when we're listening to just figure out who you are.
Starting with Dr. Miller.
Well, I'm Dr. Michael Miller, esteemed. Thank you. I'm the CEO and medical director of Miller Care Group. We are a large, non-hospital affiliated multi-specialty group in Indianapolis, and thanks to the marvels of modern technology, the entire region and actually several states via the telemedicine portal. And we do pretty much everything. We do mental health, psychiatric medical management, house call primary care, house call palliative care, pain management, nasal Spravato, IV ketamine, and of course, for better or worse, we are also a monstrously busy substance abuse treatment program, all outpatient.
Oh, for crying out loud. Is there anything that you gentlemen don't do? That's a lot.
Basketball.
Well, there are some others right now who would.
Yeah, that's it. I leave that to Steve.
It would stay the same. Dr. Steve, how about you?
Well, to add a little bit more diversity to it even further, I'm actually a general dentist with a focus in public health. I had a practice out in Seattle a few years back during, the public health crisis and COVID, and that kind of changed everything. And so my public health background came into play in a much needed way. And so I actually moved out to Indianapolis to be with my fiance here in 2022. And just by the small network that is around Indy, I met Dr. Miller, and he told me about his remote patient monitoring program. And I had to jump on board, and the rest is history. So here we are.
So that's a lot, right? Like I'm hearing a lot of things that I want to pull out of you.
Sure.
I'm going to pause and say probably the thing, I don't know, that struck me the most, if that's fair to say or not, but the fact that you do the home visits. You do the home visits for healthcare. You do the home visits for palliative care. Is that something you've always done through HealthPulse?
Absolutely. The HealthPulse is an additional program under CMS, but, to answer your question directly, I myself have been doing house call medicine for pretty much the entire length of my practice, about 30 years. And having added the palliative and primary care, I now have 4 and soon 5 healthcare providers that make house calls to those that are unable to get out for their own healthcare.
Wow.
And is that the stipulation, is the person has to be homebound?
In most cases, the Medicare has a definition of it has to require a, quote, taxing effort. So these folks still get out to do, church and social events occasionally, and of course, specialists. But by and large, our job is to try and make healthcare convenient on the patient's own terms.
And you're trying to keep people in their homes for as long as they possibly can, or what's the ultimate goal for the practice, I guess?
Well, and that's true, and hence the HealthPulse edition is CMS identified 4 major things. 1, too many hospitalizations, too many rehospitalizations, the fact that healthcare is always best performed, best outcomes in the home. And of course, the most prevalent is the horrific shortage of nurses and nursing care providers. And so when they put those 4 together, the answer they came up with was this program called RPM, Remote Patient Monitoring, and the kind of secondary program, which is chronic care management. And so recognizing the way our practice moves, we dove headlong into this to offer it to our patients and also those that care for those that are homebound.
Well, how does the remote monitoring device work?
So right now we have 4 devices. We have a bathroom scale, a blood pressure cuff, a glucometer for diabetic patients, and a pulse oximeter for heart disease patients. What these devices are cellular LTE connected, so there's no messy Wi-Fi, no internet to mess with. The patients receive 1 on up to 4 devices via the mail, and the devices come pre-programmed. They're one-touch, battery powered. They're wireless. So everything comes right out of the box. The patient takes their first reading, and our monitoring nurses are alerted at once. As soon as that initial reading comes in, they get the text or email, however they want to receive the alerts. And from then on, we communicate with the patient on a weekly basis, just make sure their numbers are in check. Should any readings be out of normal range, whether they're cautionary or critical, again, our monitoring staff is alerted right away. And, from there, we can get the patient to appropriate care if need be. If they need to go to urgent care, so be it. But, we're kind of that extra set of eyes on the patients that are homebound, that are living by themselves, that maybe need an extra ally on their healthcare team.
What if someone is not living by themselves? Are they still a candidate for HealthPulse?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, a lot of our patients are in assisted living facilities. They do have nurses that come in once a week, but obviously for some of these patients with multiple comorbidities, multiple conditions, it never hurts to have that extra set of eyes and someone else, we're just another health advocate for them and just, checking in remotely. So it's a very added convenience and an extra part of their healthcare team. We work with their primary care. We work with their specialists if need be. So it's kind of round the clock care when someone else can't be involved.
I want to ask you, we got another letter in the mail about from a hospital that our stuff we've been hacked again. They've been hacked and your information is now out there and good luck. So what can you do to protect us from that kind of happening, if something happening like that when it comes to a monitoring device that's information is now being sent somewhere, is security. Talk about that for a minute.
Absolutely. The monitoring platform that we use the company is called Provounce. They are local. They're out of Indianapolis. And their internet platform, the monitoring devices themselves, everything is up to code legally. The SSL data encryption is all secure, all HIPAA compliant. So there's no worries there. We've never had a breach. We don't intend to have one. So all of the patient's data is more than secure, and it's only being seen by the HIPAA registered certified nursing staff that we have on board. So that's a very little concern to us.
And they log in themselves. The nurses log in themselves to view that data, and that is a extraordinarily tight HIPAA compliant. They need their username, their password, and we're also in communication with Provounce all the time about, what's going on. Is the data coming through clean? What's our accessibility? And again, that's the beauty of this. The accessibility is the physician of that patient, their home healthcare agency. If they're in a facility, the nurse is there. Once we designate who has access, that is HIPAA compliant, highly secure access.
Fantastic. This is incredible. We'd like to ask the two of you to stick around for the next segment because we have a lot more questions. Before we do that, I do want to know geography. Where do you serve?
Yes.
That's a good question.
Now it is anywhere. We are getting ready to sign a contract for national representation. Louisiana, Florida, we are in communication with colleagues of mine throughout the United States offering this program to them, and the response has been over the top. So to answer the question briefly, yes, everywhere. If you're on Medicare, CMS, you have access to this program.
What if you're private pay?
Private pay, we will accept private pay. Interestingly, many of the Medicare Advantage plans have not yet accepted this. Not surprisingly, we're watching the slow but steady death of those plans. Medicaid does not yet. However, CMS has said that those that are on red, white, and blue Medicare and certain other programs are eligible. And I'm going to use a four-letter word here, free. This program is completely free to the patients. If they have a secondary or a copay, yes, there's that obligation contractually. Otherwise, the providers and everyone else, it is free.
All right. Here's the deal. You're coming back. You're going to stick around. We're going to talk about free here in just a moment. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back.
You're listening to Caregiver Crossing, a show designed for family caregivers and the people who love them. Caregiver Crossing is brought to you weekly by Joyce House in partnership with Cardon and Associates. We're here every week to bring you support, education, and hopefully a good laugh. Visit caregivercrossingradio.org to connect with us. Hear past episodes, learn more about caregiver support, resources in the community, and a whole lot more. That website again is caregivercrossingradio.org. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. And we're back on Caregiver Crossing. Terry Stacy along with Tina McIntosh. We're going to continue our conversation. We've got a couple doctors with us today from HealthPulse. We've got Dr. Michael Miller of the Miller Care Group. Also, Dr. Steve Skulborstad. Wait,
wow.
That's no bad.
Wow. Skulborstad.
Steve Skulborstad. Bob is here.
It's going to be so messy, though, Steve, when people call and they're like, I was trying to reach Dr. Bob. So Dr. Steve Bob, Skulborstad.
He's a dentist.
Well, no, he is so much.
I'm used to it.
He's a dentist. So, I mean, it is impressive. I know you were talking, Dr. Skulborstad, you were talking about the fact that you actually you were a practicing dentist. You work in public health. Thank you for the work in that. I know that Dr. Miller, you told us in the last segment all of the things that your company can do. And I just have to say, I'm very, very impressed. And so I think a question that listeners have often is, you guys sound wonderful. How do people know that they can trust you? Other than you're just really funny and seem very smart and you're wonderful.
Yeah.
It's a fabulous question. I've been in the medical arena for 30 years. And, it's like every other profession, the good news, the bad news, those that are happy don't complain. Those that are unhappy do complain. Basically, it's we're busy. We continue to expand. Our goal is to provide services that are needed by the the medical community in general, but also obviously the clients, and to provide something different, a different alternative. And again, comprehensive is a word that's used frequently in the media, and it's actually kind of our byline. We try to provide comprehensive care that we would want for our families. And again, that's why the HealthPulse program has become so integral to what we're doing, because it adds an extra dimension to patient care.
How do people find you?
It's a fabulous question. In many ways, we have the website. I'm very prolific in public media. I'm on TikTok, believe it or not.
Yeah, you are. I'm going to go right now.
The doc is on TikTok with underscores. We are very prolific on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. We're very aggressive in patient education and patient information. And to answer the question definitively, word of mouth. When you're not hospital affiliated, they have a lot of options, but I will tell you that we receive requests for our services across the entire spectrum of healthcare here in Indianapolis vicinity and nationwide.
Okay, hold on. That's Dr. Miller that's on TikTok. The doc is on TikTok. I mean, you're adorable. I just followed you. I'm following you now. I can't wait.
It's amazing. Technology is amazing. And now you just follow his every move. And technology-wise, when we talk about this remote monitoring technology, it's just amazing to me. And I often wonder what's next. How this future looks with technology and in our world. Truly. So I think this is amazing that you're able to do this. Are there any restrictions when you have one of these monitors? Are there any restrictions at all?
Not as far as your basic patient population is concerned. These devices are super portable. The patient goes on vacation, they can take them with there. The devices, as long as there's a cellular LTE connection, those readings will get back to our platform.
Okay.
No restrictions as far as that goes. Doc, did you have anything on that?
No, that's the point. I jokingly say that Wi-Fi is something that seniors think was a little thing you held in your hand that played music. And it's like, no. And that's why this 4G network is so extraordinary, because it's ubiquitous. It's everywhere. If you've got a cell phone, you have access to 4G.
Well, it's accessibility, right? I mean, it's, you can, like you said, I asked your geography and you said yes. Where do you serve? Yes, because you can.
Yes.
So here in our last few minutes together, can you give us an example, a real life example of somebody who has used this service with HealthPulse and how it's impacted their life?
Actually, we had about a few weeks ago, we had a patient, and this is at like 2 a.m. The patient started reading off the charts blood pressure. And as I said before, our nurses can set the parameters for what's considered high caution, high critical. Well, one of our nurses got an alert on her phone saying that a patient was in high critical, 3 readings in a row at 2 a.m. She got the patient into urgent care right away after doing a brief phone interview to see what was going on. It ended up being a major bowel obstruction, and they had to get her into surgery. Patient was out of the hospital the next day. The family was so thankful that we were there to see this. Otherwise, the patient's living by herself, just kind of taking her blood pressure, because a lot of these patients really, that's another big thing that we focus on is patient education. So just kind of, reiterating that these readings are important, and it's not okay to let, a high caution reading go by the wayside. So that's why we're there. These alerts that we get are fantastic. They're around the clock. And so we know which patients to focus on when and so forth. So that was one of the big keys where I was like, thank God this patient had this technology in this program.
I say, and on a bigger scale, as will come as no surprise, CMS is not going to put money into something without obvious, benefits. And the data coming out from the RPM and CCM, chronic care management programs, is showing a dramatic reduction in hospitalizations because we are able to identify and intervene significantly earlier than the situation would otherwise be, with no monitoring and, a shortage of nurses and docs that are so busy that sometimes don't attend to all the stuff they should. And that's why we provide that backup. We call and say, hey, Mrs. So-and-so, her blood pressure is up. So-and-so's glucometer is showing elevated sugars. And it's a triangle. It's us talking to the patient, talking to the doctor who's talking to their patient.
What do you see as the future, the advancements that we see, the development that you're most excited about?
Oh, this one's mine. This is the next step, as I said, is chronic care management, where not only are they monitoring, but they're calling and speaking to the patient and saying, hey, your sugars are high, or your blood pressure is not, or what's your salt intake, and kind of, again, finishing that triangle. The next step then is transitional care management, where we will be following these patients as they, for better or worse, move from their facility. Aging in place is a term that we use, moving from skilled to assisted, or backwards, or to, independent. And of course, if they were to go into a hospital, we are able to monitor and follow them. And the last piece that CMS is adding is pharmacist oversight management, where we will be able to provide a pharmacist, a PharmD, who will look at their medications twice a year at minimum and identify potential problems. Is this medicine not working? And that's all going to be under the RPM CCM banner. So there's two examples of CMS wisely using this technology to everyone's advantage.
Dr. Michael Miller and the Miller Care Group, and also Dr. Steve Skulborstad. Did I do it right?
No, it's just terrible.
HealthPulse. HealthPulse. And again, before we let you go, how can we get a hold of you one more time?
HealthPulse.
2 ways. Yep, HealthPulse.life. Sorry, Steve. And the other one is we are happy to provide the office number. The Miller Care Group number direct is 317-429-0061, 317-429-0061. And we are delighted to have chatted with you about our program. I'm a big fan of your program, by the way. Every Sunday when I'm in the car, I'm listening to Caregiver Crossing. You guys always come up with great and pertinent information.
Thank you.
And as a provider, I appreciate it.
That is awesome. Thank you.
It means a lot.
Thank you. It does mean a lot.
Gentlemen,
Thank you.
we're grateful for you being in our community. For the rest of you, we are glad you're here. You have been listening. You are listening to Caregiver Crossing, and we are a show designed for family caregivers and the people who love them. Caregiver Crossing is brought to you weekly by Joyce House in partnership with Cardon and Associates, and we're here every week and learn a lot more there. But don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more Caregiver Crossing shortly. Okay, it's Caregiver Crossing.
Yep.
I told you at the top of the hour that I was feeling a little down, and you really brought me up. And those two doctors were fantastic.
They were really terrific. Great guests. And we will have them back.
For sure.
And if you have questions for them, please, you can send us the questions. We can ask the questions you need.
Yeah. Email me at tina@joyshouse.org. And whether or not it's about Dr. Miller and Dr. Would you like to say his last name?
Skulborstad.
Oh, look at you rolling right off your tongue now that he's off the phone with HealthPulse, whether it has to do with them or anything. If you want to hear things on the show, I have had actually, Terry, so many people email and a couple phone calls recently. It's been lovely.
Good.
Yeah.
Good, because you are open for business. You are always ready to help you. And it's good for Tina's soul, too, to be able to help you if you need any help.
It is. So thank you. And thank you for, your questions about Joy's House too. So I was thinking about this HealthPulse thing and the comfort it would bring. And I am so sorry to my mother-in-law because I'm going to talk about you, but it's all lovely stuff right now. But my mother-in-law lives with us.
She said right now.
She has an apartment like in our driveway and a very nice, lovely, secured apartment.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think wouldn't it be great to have that kind of that health pulse? Or for my dad that raised me, my biological father passed away almost a year ago. But for my dad that raised me, he's in independent living in Fort Wayne. How comforting that would be for me as a person who loves them, but also for them, the anxiety that you have when you live alone. What if I fall? What if, like the doctor said, what if in the middle of the night I spike with something and it's a bowel obstruction that I never even imagined as a thing?
I wish we all had them, no matter our age, no matter, we
kind of do
all
too.
had this protection. I will tell you that my father had it. That he had a remote monitoring system.
I didn't know that.
And it was amazing. And it did exactly what it was supposed to do. It would tell when things were happening, if something was different, if anything changed it in his vitals. And they were always monitoring him 24 hours a day. And it's not only just good for you to have, but it's also convenient, because part of the hard part, the difficulty was for different things that they may wanted to have known test-wise on a particular day. We might have had to get dad up, get him moved to the hospital to go have those vitals or whatever needed to be taken the right way. And so now with this system, he didn't have to go anywhere.
Right.
It was right there at home, and they would be there in a flash if there was something that was an emergency. And I loved it. And I know my mom loved it. I thought that was like having a 24-hour nurse with you.
Yeah. Oh, I think it's so brilliant.
It's a great thing.
So it is. And what we're talking about is very serious. I'm going to move away from the serious for just a moment here.
What's it about?
So during a break, Terry started to tell a story about her grandfather in the ocean. Can you just share is that a story you can share?
It doesn't have anything to do. This is what happens when we're on, we should Facebook's live sometimes so you can see the what happens in between. We were talking, Tina just got back from spring break. Again, this has nothing to do with anything but
you
us
said,
just
how was spring break?
Enjoying being friends.
Yeah.
How was spring break? She said, short.
It's good.
Making memories,
time.
right? Making memories. Yeah. And I said, I have so many memories of spring break. One of my favorites is when I was very young, going with Grandma and Grandpa. And a big wave hit Grandpa on the back and his teeth flew out and we couldn't find the teeth. And we spent until dark looking for the teeth in the ocean. And then we had to look for a doctor back then, a dentist that would have been able to fit him for a denture. And so we just came home.
Without his teeth? Without any teeth?
Yeah.
What did he eat? Applesauce and mush on the way home?
Mostly just applesauce, cottage cheese. Your lighter fare. Your softer fare.
Your lighter fare.
But that was a memory. So good or bad, whatever happens, that's the one that popped up when I thought of spring break.
Oh, that is fantastic.
That was what we were talking about. No, can I switch gears again?
Okay. Hold on, everybody. Hold on.
Because again, it was something else I just saw.
Please. Relating
to Alzheimer's. This is so smart. It's a great lesson. And it was about a wondering parent. It's so weird that this would just pop up. It was listening to me.
Of course it was. It's not, there's no coincidence when it comes to what happens on our phones. Go on.
It just popped up. A wondering mother, Alzheimer's. She's walking down the street.
Wandering, right?
No,
because I was
wander,
she was curious.
Wander, Indiana. Okay. Well, I don't even know if that works either, but she left the house.
She was walking.
She was walking. The daughter realized mom's gone, goes out the door. She's following her down the street. Where you going, Mom? She says, I'm leaving. I'm headed out. I'm getting on the plane. I'm headed to Baltimore or someplace, And the daughter, very carefully, again, this is those moments where you have to pick your words right. And it was such a great lesson on how she handled it. And she simply said, well, I want to go. Can you come back with me and let me get some stuff packed?
Brilliant.
And we'll go. And then we'll go. And the mother then kind of turned around and said, okay. And then they had a conversation back to the house that related to, packing and why do we want to go? And, let's not really go. Let's just stay home and watch a movie. But it was handled so wonderful.
That's brilliant.
It was just so smart. Just to, instead of grabbing them and scaring them and saying, no, you can't go anywhere. It was more like, this is what you need to do. You talk to them like, yeah, I'll go, but I need to pack.
It is the art of gentle manipulation.
And you're so good at it.
Well, it is a skill I got from my biological father.
It was such a good way to handle things. And I know all of you have those kind of tips, and send those to Tina too, because I like to talk about them because it can help, even if it helped one person know how to handle a situation better, because everybody's overwhelmed when it comes to this.
Joy's House has launched Caregiver Way, which is this web app. Okay. And so we need your experiences so that we can then share them with other people, because what if what you share helps one person? It is worth it. What if what you share helps hundreds of people? I mean, when we started this radio show, we thought, this is crazy, right? We're going to do a show for family caregivers. Who's going to listen to this? It is thousands of you every weekend.
Yeah.
I mean,
not just here in Indiana, we're also in Illinois now.
Right. Thousands of you. And so we know you want a community. We know you want to learn. We want to learn from you. And so please email me, tina@joyshouse.org. And we're going to use your experiences, good and bad, right? And your tips and tricks to help other people. So please, tina@joyshouse.org. I don't know if I can say it enough. We want to hear from you. So more on Caregiver Way later. But for now, we got to close out. I know we have.
Is it time to go?
It is.
Let's go. We got to go.
Will you thank some people?
I would love to. Caregiver Crossing, supported by Cardon and Associates. Thank you, Cardon and Associates. 20 communities owned, operated, or managed in the Midwest with more than 40 years of senior living experience. Cardon and Associates, they provide residents with the best senior living care options and personalized service. Until next time, on behalf of Tina McIntosh, thank you, and take good care of each other. We'll talk to you next time.